Hello there, welcome back to France. I'm Than Napoleon. Last time we ended it with some, sorry about that, we ended it with some conquest basically. We currently did take what we wanted from England. South Georgia is something we will need to core, unfortunately. It's overseas, sadly, so we'll have to deal with that. But it's basically the, English problematic provinces, if you will. We also still have Holland here, but they've stopped colonizing completely, so I have no idea what they're actually doing, but we'll have to deal with that as time passes by, of course, as well. But for now, we'll just sit back and relax, keep on colonizing a little bit, sort out some other problems, because the fact is that currently we have a Regency Council, and that Regency Council will last for another 11 years. Now, what we did last time was basically just start some buildings, and we also conquered, as I said, finished the war with England. Now, in terms of what we're going to be going to do in the future is basically upgrades, if you will. We are upgrading the capital, the Bourbon, Dauphine, and Capitanata. We're going to be putting the level 3 fortresses in those, basically just as, well, cover and protection, if you will. So that's going to be interesting. But for the time being, I'll just go back to, well, just keeping an eye on everything, keep everything going, and we'll see what happens here. But hopefully we will get everything we want before before we should end up in trouble in the future. We'll still be focusing mostly on on admin power, but we will also, of course, be saving the military power that we get now, because we will be, once Louis here takes the throne, it's going to be harder, a lot harder to get the right people in charge, basically. So it's going to be interesting to see just how that works out. But for the time being, we will just save our military points. We also gotten, thanks to our recent conquest, we now have 2 new merchants that we can use. And in terms of trading, I have no idea where I want to place these guys. Let's just take a quick look here, where we actually do have people. I do have 48% here, so we should actually send one here to transfer. And what we're going to use with him is, of course, send it here. And while we're on the topic of that, since these guys aren't actually being used right now, we'll use them to protect trade in, as you can see, the English Channel, which should give us a tiny bit more money. England is still in charge here, so not really too much of a increase, as you can see. So can't really say that it's for the best, but the fleet itself is, well, highly maintained most of the time. It doesn't really matter too much. Now, the guy here, when will he arrive? Didn't I send you there? There we go. And with this, we should be sending way more money to the English Channel. Now, the second guy, I'm a little bit unsure where we actually do want to place him, because as you can see, money actually goes to wherever we want from here. So the question is then, do I want to do something here? And it seems like, as you can see, I don't really need to. Same with basically everything here. The transfers are going basically where I want them. I might want to re-steer this to somewhere else, or basically, yeah, we're going to re-steer this to Bordeaux, because there's no reason sending it where we are sending it to. And in terms of the other merchant, I have no idea where I want to place him. That is actually a problem. I have no idea where I want him. Where do I hold the most power in these nodes? I do hold a decent amount in this one, but the money's being sent to the back. For now, we'll set him to transfer here. We're going to have him transfer to the English Channel. And I might just go for building some more ships to, of course, become a trade power monster here, because we do have the naval force limits to support that. But for the time being, I'll just leave things as they are, and we'll see how, well, everything turn out, because we are earning quite a bit of money here. We'll just wait and we'll see if the Regency Council ends, hopefully, very soon. Well, finally things are happening. Then Lucien has disappeared, which means that Well, it's been converted to reformed. It is already reformed. It said the center disappeared, but apparently it didn't, which is problematic. I basically think it means that now I could, in theory, reconvert it and get rid of the center completely, and I will do that as soon as we get a missionary ready. Until then, however, we'll just keep on doing what we have been doing. I haven't really actually been doing anything, I've just been saving money. As you can see, we're currently earning 60 ducats a month. 53 of that is from trade, and we're still earning actually something from our war operations, among other things, so things are not really that bad. Currently, I'm working on creating a couple of friends here, including the Ottomans. We've improved relations with Bohemia. We're currently working with Poland, and of course I'll also be working with Milan here, because I do want them on the positive side. And I do also want Genoa to eat basically this Italian region here around the Pope. I might ally the Pope in the future, but right now he hates my guts with, well, just hate, I guess. So there's not really much else I can do. Coldest period of the Little Ice Age. So price of grain, vine and fish goes down, salt and fur goes up. It's getting longer and colder, I would guess. It would be the grain prices in theory would go up, since you would most likely get less from the summers. Currently, I don't have any use for any of these tags. I'm just saving points basically. Neighbor bonus, as you can see, is the only thing I'm getting. So at the current moment, we are going to we're just going to sit back, allow our points to accumulate. I'll make sure that they do not go over the limit, and also get high enough. We're going to figure out what we want to do with them. It's time to do some upgrades here. We're going to first and foremost upgrade the fleet. Just get that out of the way. As you can see, it will cost 660 ducats, which is perfectly fine. We're basically just upgrading the heavy ships and the light ships here, frigates. But I'm also going to start creating some frigate, basically trader fleet, if you will. And I think we're actually going to create 2 of them. And each of these are going to be 50 light ships. 50 of them. Which means they are going to be very expensive in the long run, but worst case scenario I can just mothball them. And let's just be honest here, I'm earning 57 ducats a month. I can save up on this. We'll create 1 to begin with, and then if we decide we need more, we'll just build it as time passes. So we'll build this first one. It's probably going to take me 3 or 4 or 5 years. So we'll just allow time to pass while we do that. There's still, I believe, if I'm not completely mistaken, 5 more years until the Regency Council is done over with, and I have to start considering who I want to attack, and of course start fabricating claims. Now that is going to be interesting even on its own, but we'll just have to see how we want to handle that. But I'm pretty sure that I will, as I said, very soon here start fabricating claims. We'll figure out who we want to attack. Russia is of course a very, if not likely, guaranteed target, and in terms of Russia we're going to take this area right here. We'll basically stop any potential exploration colonization on them, and it should be enough just for this war. And of course the goal here, the real goal, is just to slowly but surely cut Russia down in size. So with that in mind, we're going to of course move our troops over to the Russian territories. Now once we're done with Russia, we're probably going to have another battle here with England, but as you can see the truce here will last for a little while. So Scandinavia is far more likely that we'll be going after, and we'll basically just focus on getting the mainland, and if we can, potentially Bornholm and Gotland. We'll have to wait and see. But once we've done that, I think I'll leave Scandinavia alone. I'll take Norway, of course, but after that we'll leave Scandinavia alone as a semi-Denmark, and we'll just focus on catching up in admin tech, because admin tech is going to be very, very valuable very, very soon. Once we get to level 23 admin tech, we're going to get minus 25 to coring cost. Once we get to 77, we're going to get minus 50 to coring cost. And if you then add in the nice little 3 here we have from our idea set, the core creation cost minus 25%, we're looking really good on that line as well. So with that said, I'm going to allow time to pass to the end of December. I have no idea if it will boost my, or lower my costs is probably the right way of looking at it, but it might. And as you can see, I'm currently just, well, colonizing down the coast, just trying to get everything running. But I have to see it, potentially since the AI is colonizing themselves, what I potentially should be doing here is just try and block off any sort of colonization done by Europe itself. Basically just block everything off as far as I can do things. and work from there, but I'm a little bit unsure. We also still have the mission to go to India, get Coromandel for the East Indian Company. But as I was saying, in terms of colonial regions, we have Brazil, we do not have La Plata, we do not have Peru, we do have Mexico, we do have Eastern America, we do have the coastal, we do have Canada. So I guess creating Louisiana, Peru, and La Plata should be targets. But colonial Peru will mostly be created through warfare. So I guess what we're going to end up doing here is create a couple of colonies along the coastline here, just so I can fabricate claims, make the coring a little bit cheaper. And then we'll, of course, work from there. But, yeah, at the current being, we have a couple of things to fix up. We want to clean up England. We want to deal with France, or sorry, Castile. Because, to be perfectly honest, there's a achievement having a fair amount of vassals, 21 subjects total. And as you might be able to, well, expect, we're going to end up in trouble if we don't, well, protect that. So let's just sort these guys by Liberty Desire. As you can see, Genoa is the only one who currently has Liberty Desire, and that's due to the fact they have more than 100 total development. But for the nations overseas, it goes for relative power to France, to me, and of course the tariffs. If I keep the tariffs low, they're going to have lower Liberty Desire, and of course I need to do that. But as you can see, I can still get 2 more merchants just from my colonies. 3 actually. The West African Company isn't strong enough, but basically the trade companies do not count, but the colonial nations do, so I have to create a lot of them. There is of course also the fact that there are, sorry, that was the wrong map mode. There are, I believe, a colonial nation here, but I'm a little bit unsure. It might be that just something that I have read, but we'll figure that out. Anyways, I'll just allow time to pass, and we'll leave the to allow the Regions Council here to run this course. I almost completely forgot. We need to tech up, so let's just get admin tech here. And we have a revolt. Brazil peasants. My vassals are having peasants. But anyways, we can now build a cathedral. And if I should decide to build said cathedral, the thing that I will be getting from it is basically a local development cost minus 20%. No, where is that cathedral? There we go. Sorry. Local tax modifier plus 60%, local mission strength plus 3%. Worst case scenario, I actually need to build this just to convert certain places, which isn't actually the worst of ideas. If I just build this in religious centers, that should be enough to potentially flip the flip things into my favor. So that can actually work very, very well. But we also, of course, need to upgrade military tech here, and we might as well. There's no reason not to. Killing grounds, level 20. With that, we will get combat with increased by 2, infantry fire by 0.5, and we get a new type of cannon, the swivel cannon. Let's just upgrade that one right away. And before we take this one, Archers gets unrest for 10 years. Do I want that? I need another month change. If I can pull that off, then I'm going to be very, very happy. There we go. And of course, one of my devices died, the military one. But what I basically want to do now is just do right away absolute rulership. Just get it. And with that, as you can see, we're level 20 admin tech. We have overtaken diplomatic tech for the first time in a very long time. Absolute monarchy and republic dictatorship. Now, what this means is that I can probably change my government form. Currently, I'm a feudal monarchy. I could become an absolute one, I believe now. So, as you can see, that will be very, very useful. National unrest, minus 10%. We have plus 5 discipline, minus 15 to multi-autonomy, which will mean that well, empire will grow a lot quicker, 3 times as fast, or the conquered areas will grow to, my apologies, the conquered areas' autonomy will decrease 3 times more rapidly, which means they'll be worth more quicker. So, what I'll be giving up, of course, income from vassals and national manpower modifier. The minus 1 to unrest is going to be very, very helpful. The discipline is also going to be helpful, so I think we're going to go with an admin absolute monarchy as soon as we can. Of course, a constitutional one would be nice, but not really needed, so we'll be going for an absolute one, and that should solve most of my problems here. So yeah, we'll be upgrading as soon as we can. Now, in terms of getting an advisor, I think I might need a level 3 one for a while here, to be perfectly honest. And the reason why I think that is we're going to have two very weak, or we're going to have a very, very weak military ruler here, and I have a set of quantity ideas which are military that I need to deal with. So there's no reason not to put myself in an awkward position here at the current moment. So for the time being, we'll leave things as they are, and we'll continue the Regency Council next time. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment, praise, criticism, and who you feel like, and I'll see you next time. Bye.